What's up, besties? I hope you're having a mind-blowing day. I don't think you can use the word mind-blowing like that, but I'm really running out of positive words. This video is unscripted and will be shorter, hopefully. I figured out a little art challenge for myself. Um, I have this video on my channel where I turned off the colors on my computer's monitor and just had a very colorful background and was color picking all of the colors from my drawing like blindly without seeing them. And this was fun. I like the results too. So I kind of wanted to do something similar to that, but not exactly. And I was thinking about it because people who have been doing this challenge, like IRL using blue light, for example, still had like the names of the paints or the crayons on them, and I technically like remember roughly where it was on the color wheel, so I kind of knew, if I really wanted to like figure out what color I'm using, I just tried to like not pay attention to that. And I figured, what if I just knew what color I'm using but didn't see it, and only focus on how dark or light it is. And I, this time, instead of turning off the colors, I will put you like a shortcut for that and like on screen because I don't remember how to do that. Instead of doing that, I just took one correction layer, put it on top of everything, and drew under it, so I did see my colors. And I tried to make them all very saturated. That was like the main goal here, to just keep it as saturated as possible, so that I only operated with the darkness of the color, to be honest, and every now and then I would move the little part that's like changing the hue a little bit on the color wheel, so that the colors are all funky but also very vibrant. And I was sketching above the correction layer that made everything black and white, just so that I can see it better. So my sketch was colorful, but I didn't see like the colors I use for coloring. And like I knew like, oh, I'm using green now, I'm using cyan now, I'm using blue now. But yeah, my initial plan was to like make these characters and make them kind of not only close to each other but also kind of tangled feeling, and to also like take the final picture and like warp it, either with some filter or with a liquify tool. But I ended up not doing the last one, because I didn't really care about the anatomy so much for this reason. And now I mean, you can see how I sketch. I just draw a body from top to bottom, hoping that it's like roughly how it's supposed to be, and I'm done. So yeah, I've made these three characters first, while also separating their body parts, and then just remix them into like two more. And also, since the colors didn't really match, I used some additional layers to smooth it out, like so the character can have one leg in one color, the other in another color, hands in another color, the torso in another color. Then in the end, to like kind of amplify the tangledness, I added these like stringy things. I imagine them to be, like with dust, or I think it's like dust mixed with cobwebs when this happens, when it's like stringy and it's like very delicate. You can't really like be stopped by it, like physically restrained. It's like gross and it's like kind of sticky and right. So this is that, but I knew it's going to be very colorful, so it doesn't look like it. That was just like what was in my head when I made it. Yeah, I'm not going to explain the drawing to you because I don't know the meaning myself. It's like just something that like popped up in my head. I just made sure there's a lot of these characters, and again I remixed some of the body parts and added some more in the background. So I don't know about the background just yet because I'm not sure if I'm satisfied with what I'm looking at now. We will see the final result when I'm actually like done. But I thought I don't want them to be just like in this void, so I added some lines to indicate that this is a room, but I also didn't want to like draw an actual room because I wanted to keep the background color, to be honest, because I started the background with the first color I used, which was green, and then I was like slowly moving clockwise towards purple, and I just didn't want to like change that. And I also made myself a custom brush for this drawing because I figured that would be useful. So I used the default gouache paintbrush that Clip Studio Paint has, and in the settings about the color, I changed the color jitter, so so there's the change brush tip color one I use, and randomize per stroke. So it also changed in between the strokes, so the color I've set could have been like dark blue, but some of the lines would already come like in purple or green or cyan, or so that it's even more randomized. And yeah, when I like turned the colors on, I was like kind of surprised, kind of not. I knew what I'm doing, but I didn't see it, and the colors were more of a mess than I expected, but that's actually good. I wanted them to be a mess. I was kind of worried that it's going to be like all chopped up, and you know, it's like, oh, one thing is shaded like this and the other is like this, and like the colors don't make the same. But I think they come together nicely. I just don't want to do the warping thing because everything I tried didn't look all that great, so I gave up on that. Yeah, again, I don't know about like the place they're in. I don't want them to be in a green void, but I also don't want to be very detailed about the room. I imagine this like dust being like everywhere, but I think I'm going to like either keep this layer on very low opacity that I made, or just get rid of it altogether because I don't think it's serving very much here. And I also decided to keep the lines, the outline very minimal, very thin, especially that I couldn't see them when I was making, so I didn't know if they're like actually needed. Sometimes I skip them, but this time I wanted to be in my art style, okay? And this is an element of it, so I didn't want to like get rid of it altogether, but at the same time, I don't know, I think I like it without, I don't know, maybe I will get rid of them for the final version, I'm not sure, because when I outlined the like strings, it made it very apparent where they end and where they start, and so you can see how messy they are actually, because I was just like going at it without any plan. I just wanted to be a lot, and I just freehanded everything, and I didn't really look closely at like where they end, where they start. Then I tried fixing that with line art when I like realized that it only amplifies this effect. But I don't know, I think I like the messiness of all of this. I like the like color jitter thing. It's like everything everywhere. That was kind of the goal of it. This is why there's so many bodies, and like you can see that at some points I just copied like, oh, I'm just going to put one additional hand in here. Whose hand is that? Someone's, right? I'm going to put one additional leg in here, and also in here, and it's like, whose legs are those? I don't care, they're just here. I just wanted to like add to all of the chaos, and when I like copied and pasted some body parts, I always change their hue in the edits window so that they are not the same as like the original. And I think that helped quite a bit to like, so you know, it's not obvious that it's copied, and also the strings help to make it obvious that it's not copied, and also like this, you know, reshading it with a new color to like make them match. Like looking at it now that it's all colorful, I have this character who has like this one leg that's like yellowish green, one leg that's dark green, the torso is yellow, and the hands are cyan, but like it all comes together because of like this kind of purplish shading. So and you know, all the purple and blue and pink lianas and strings, whatever those are. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. I think that's just an interesting experiment. I think it was cool that I wasn't restrained by the colors as much as usual, because I was able to just focus on getting the contrast, and thanks to that I could maintain like the full saturation of the colors everywhere, unless they weren't like fully opaque, then they mixed, and obviously. But generally speaking, I don't think I ever got out of the full saturation part of the square, so that's cool. I mean, if you look at my art, you can see I really, really like the very saturated colors. But you know, I also want the shading to make sense, so I usually stray at least sometimes like out of it. And here I didn't have to, and I think that worked great. And I think this is like a cool challenge to try to just let loose and focus on the shading, but without like the colors. And this is different than what I often do when I want to just focus on the values and not on the hue. Because usually when I do that, I just right click on my layer, and then after like doing it in grayscale, I create a new correction layer and then gradient map, and then I just use gradient map, but the gradient map applies equally on all of the layers, so I can't have something more pink and something more blue if it's in the same shade of gray, right? And here it's like I've used the exact same shade of gray a lot, like the first two characters from the right look like they're very similar, but one of them is green and one of them is cyan, so you know, there's a lot of like very similar shades that ended up being very different colors, and it's like all like popping out. And I don't know, I really like doing that. When it comes to other people's art, I really enjoy very dark art. I'm not getting inspired by people's color choices very often, because I don't surround myself with the type of art I'm making. But I just really, really enjoy making colorful stuff. Like, this is a bit contradictory. I don't know what's the reason why I do it like the way I do it. I just like it. This is like my whole reasoning here. I like it. I'm going to keep on doing this. And yeah, I don't know what else I can say about this aside from, if you're a digital artist, I recommend you try this out at least once, because it's fun, because it's a cool experiment, because maybe you will make something cool. I don't know if there's any lessons to be learned, because again, I kind of knew what I was doing, but maybe for someone who knows less about colors and how they work, they may try to like, I think another thing I kind of wanted to try to, but not on this piece, would be to without seeing the colors on the thing but only on the color wheel, try to make something actually realistic. I think I could do that, but I also didn't try, so maybe I couldn't. Maybe that would be a disaster. That's not what I was testing for, so I don't have this type of result. Maybe I will try doing that in the future. But yeah, I think aside from like recommending that, because again, it was very fun and I am very happy with that drawing. I think this is all from me for now. If you have any advice or any more ideas on how to do that, or like what else I could do with that, or what that could be useful for, or maybe you've tried that and you have your own conclusions, maybe you disagree on something, anything. How was your day? What did you have for breakfast? I would love it if you left it in the comment section down below. And for now, just stay safe, wear warm clothes because it's getting cold outside. Make yourself some warm tea, milk, honey, lemon, and whatever you like, if you like that. And peace.